There are some seriously good Star Wars games in the 90s, but the one I played the most when I was young was Jedi Power Battles. This game was absolutely awesome and a ton of fun. Released on March 31st, 2000 for the PlayStation, Dreamcast, and Game Boy, Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles was one of two games that followed Episode 1's story. At the time, it did not exactly come out to rave reviews, but nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and even playing it a few years ago, I thought it was really fun. It's definitely a game that deserves a remaster or a re-release, especially because I played this on the PlayStation, and until this video I had no idea that the Dreamcast version looked 10 times better. So let's talk about this game. The premise is simple. You fight and play your way through Episode 1's story, which takes place over 10 levels in this game. The game had two difficulty modes, an easy mode and a Jedi mode. But what's cool is that the game gives you 5 different Jedi to choose from. Instead of just Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon, you could also play as Mace Windu before they knew purple lightsabers existed, Plo Koon with an awesome yellow lightsaber, or Adi Gallia with a red lightsaber, I guess. Anyway, you start out right where Episode 1 picks up and demolish some droids. At the beginning of the game, you have basic lightsaber and force moves, but as you go through the levels, you have opportunities to get a bunch of points. At the end of each level, it grants you certain rewards depending on how many points you get in that level, such as health or force bonuses, or more importantly, new combos. Accumulating such points can be done by killing enemies, destroying a bunch of random things, or picking up unique items. You have items that replenish health or force, checkpoints or lives that give extra points, or even temporary lightsaber upgrades that help demolish enemies. One upgrade makes lightsabers super long, while another gives it more girth. I was always a girth man myself. This game also has the best sound effect for picking up items. But now let's talk more about gameplay. One prior point to expand upon is that the combos you can learn are pretty sick, and what combos do are different depending on the character. I was always a Mace Windu guy myself, and his combos are insane. This is what makes actually playing the game fun. You can practice and get good at combos to easily take down enemies. The game also has a good parry system. When enemies are shooting at you, you can block the blaster shots, but if you wait until the last moment before it hits you, it sends it back at the enemy. Essentially, you can get really good at killing enemies by lightsaber or by deflecting blaster shots back at them. Or you can even let enemies shoot each other. Moreover, as you head through each level, the game has a way of breaking up the monotony in different ways. In one of the early levels, you straight up get to control a tank and plow through enemies. In a later level, you can hop on a droid's flying speeder. Apparently it's called a single trooper aerial platform, but really who cares? However, one thing this game consistently does is have various platforming mechanics in each level. It's good because it does give you different things to do, but it's also bad because this game's platforming sucks! Trying to make any jump in this game is scary, and half the time you are going to fall to your death. Oh, and you can also die from fall damage. That means if you miss a jump but land on the ground where you just were, you might die if you are up too high. In the last level specifically, you can jump too high here and actually die from fall damage. But it's also part of the game's charm, because this is a difficult game to beat. Going through each level is no cakewalk, it really is a hard game. All the clunky controls don't help either. Sometimes it really is just unfair.
This is outrageous. It's unfair.
In one level, it lets you get to the end to fight a boss, but if you don't get the required amount of handmaidens, you straight up fail and need to play the level again. But since I mentioned bosses, let me talk more about them. There are unique bosses at the end of each level, but some actually have bosses halfway through the level as well. All in all, most are pretty cool with unique gimmicks. Some are easy, some are hard, and some are downright brutal, especially the last boss. Of course, I'm talking about Darth Maul.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
The final level goes like this. You begin fighting Maul. If you win, he runs away. You need to traverse forward and not fall to your death so you can fight him again. He then runs away. You need to not fall to your death more, then fight him again where he can force push you off the side, falling to your death if that happens. If you win, he runs away. You then need to fight other enemies as you progress through the level. Don't forget you need to platform your way through and not die because checkpoints are far and few between here. Remember this spot I mentioned earlier? Yeah, don't jump too high or you die. Then you go through a puzzle involving laser walls before platforming across laser-triggered floors. After all this, you get to Maul again for the actual last fight. Well, he does run away 3 more times, but this is the last fight, and it's here that you beat him. Or you get killed again and again until you run out of lives, which means you must start the level over from the beginning. This game is hell, and I loved it. Once beating the game, you get the ending cutscene. All the Jedi, yes even Qui-Gon, are there. It doesn't really make sense, but hey, it's the good ending. Moving on, the music in this game kind of speaks for itself. It's really great. The songs are all pretty much from episode 1, which is full of bangers, so it's pretty nice going through levels with some good music. It makes the overall experience that much more enjoyable. But hold on, I haven't even talked about what makes this game really special. On PlayStation and Dreamcast, there is a 2-player co-op mode. Playing this as a kid with my brothers was really fun, and the nostalgia hits hard. What's funny is that this is not split-screen co-op. You both have to work on the same screen. This is where things get interesting. Having a second Jedi makes this game infinitely easier for combat until you realize that the other person can absolutely screw you over.
Oh, not good.
If the other player is cooking it through the level, the screen follows whoever is in first. If you fall too far behind off screen, you die. You don't get harmlessly teleported next to the other player like you would in Halo co-op. You die and teleport back, losing a life. This becomes ungodly difficult on platforming sections, where you both must make the same jump at the same time, otherwise the screen leaves the other player behind. Honestly, it's chaotic and ridiculous, but it's also so much fun, and it's one of the best co-op Star Wars games by far. At the end of the day, this game's campaign is pretty short. It can be completed in 2 to 3 hours, but you can go back through it with the same character for more points, or try a different character entirely. You could also play as Queen Amidala, Captain Panaka, and Darth Maul after beating the game with certain characters. Guess who is OP? Or just going through it again with another person is worth it alone. With the Battlefront re-releases becoming a reality, there is now hope that this game and maybe others can see the light of day again. This is truly a difficult Star Wars game that deserves a remaster 100%, or at least a proper re-release. It may all be nostalgia, but it's a game I would love to see and play again. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.